All right, this video is going to be uh, a sort of an unboxing. I had an unfortunate incident this morning. Uh, I'm noticing after doing the disappearing objects phenomenon, I've been paying more attention to what I do. And I never really had things disappear on me. They would disappear in a weird way, and I documented how something would disappear, and if you stay with it, you can find it. And then I got into this mode where I started paying more attention to what I'm doing. So I won't lose the thing in the first place. But that's not really good because uh, you really, when you're doing stuff in life, you don't want to have 100% of your brain tracking everything you're doing. So, but what happened? Something popped up that I never realized before. Small neighborhood, and I walked to the dollar store, I walked to exercise, and I started noticing that when I'm out walking, there's nobody in the neighborhood. I can hear the cars in every direction, and then like now, I can't just cross the street where I want to because there's snow. So I have to go down to the next opening, like at the end of the street or whatever. And when I go to cross, a car comes along, maybe two or three cars, which is, I'm telling you, it's impossible. And I started noticing this, and it's almost like the Truman Show. You know, it's like cue the cars, and I go to cross the street, and these cars come by, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, you get one or two cars that come through the neighborhood in 5 minutes. Now we got three in a row. I'm like, that's weird. So I've been paying attention to that rather than just walking and thinking about what I want to work on for the day. I'm watching the impossible happen in front of me. So yesterday, every single place I went to cross, a car just happened to be coming along, which is impossible. There's not that many cars going through this neighborhood. And then when I go across the large parking lot at the dollar store, there's people that they don't really stay in the lines when they drive. They cut caddy corner. So you're walking along on this big parking lot that's nobody really in there because it's early in the morning. But now there's a car coming in front of you or at you, and the person's annoyed you're in the way. You're in the middle of a parking lot where it's just me and them, and they're annoyed I'm in their way, and I'm annoyed. Where are they going? Well, anyway, they can't see the lines because of the salt and the snow that we had. So I'm like, I'll let that go. And then you get near McDonald's, and suddenly there's three people coming out of the pickup window at a time, and you're standing there, and they're coming by. So this is going through my head. And then, I have a habit of leaving the house at the same time. That's my fault. And there's two buses that come in. One's going outbound, one's going inbound to the city, and they go through that parking lot. And they changed their route a little bit. Well, anyway, I have to watch out for the buses in a parking lot because the buses, they do a little different. They had some construction, so they go around. Now they're back to their normal routine. But I'm like, I've always watched out for those buses because that's my fault. I leave the house at the same time. By the time I get over there, of course, the two buses that come in, one going outbound, one going inbound to the city, they're going to be there. So I got those. I got the people from McDonald's. I got other people that try to beat the light. There's a light there. So if you come into the parking lot, and those are the most dangerous because they're high speed. They come in and they come back out, and they end up getting in line at the light anyway in a different direction. But in their mind, they think they're going to beat the light. So I'm paying attention to this stuff because the disappearing objects phenomenon. So this morning, I'm doing my walk, and it's the neighborhood. It's been over a week, and there's still people that haven't shoveled. And I'm 72 years old, and I'm walking these different sidewalks, and I'm trying not to slip and break my neck. And I'm thinking about, well, when I get home, I'll do this video uh, about this isolation transformer. What's the name of the company? Triad. Well, anyway, I'm thinking about that. I'm like, let me add this. Let me add that. So what we have here, if we move this box out of the way, this is the debris for the video. that didn't happen. All right, wait, let me get in frame. So those transformers on, that's for a video that didn't happen. Why? Guy sent me the wrong transformer. And here's the other thing that's really annoying. If you order a transformer Sunday night, you say, I need a transformer. All right. So you order it, and nobody really ships the upcoming week because electronic stuff is very slow. So the next time they're going to ship is going to be a following Saturday. You just missed Saturday. You're at Sunday. You're going to wait a week before it ships. Then it's going to take 3 to 4 days to get to your house, depending on how they ship it. That's another thing I noticed. I'm like, I don't get I don't get my parts on time. There always seems to be a holiday. There always seems to be some type of weather event, and the person always seems to send the wrong thing. And I'm like, I'm going out of my mind, and I'm starting to pay more attention to, are there that many screw ups in the world? I know I screw up, but on eBay, everything I seem to touch lately goes wrong. This one radio I bought, and the guy says, make an offer. So I make an offer. He makes me wait all day, and he doesn't accept the offer. So then he takes that down. Make an offer, he takes it down. The next scene, when I go to look at the radio, there's no make an offer, and he's got it for too much money. And it's not a great radio. I have to recap it. So I'm like, screw it. So I wait a week. Then he's back up. He's got it back up, make an offer. So I make an offer, make a little bit more of an offer. He doesn't take the offer. All right. So anyway, I said, screw it. Right. So then he has it back up, and I'm talking to the mailman. The mailman says, what's the difference? I said, well, it's a difference of $15. He says, maybe you should just pay the extra $15. I said, all right. So I come home and I click buy it now. Or just, yeah, I could buy it. Right? Buy it now. All right. Buy it now at the price. And thank you for your blah, 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 blah. Over a week later, he emails me this thing with the agreement. He doesn't ship for 4 days. He has my money. He doesn't ship for 4 days. So I'm waiting. Okay, so now so many days go by, 4 days go by. It's still not here. So I told the mailman, I said, this guy's, there's something wrong with him. So it's an upcycling company. And they should be shipping every day. I don't know what's going on in his life, but I went in and I put, what I call him? You suck. I said to him, you suck. So then he come back and he goes, gee, I'm really sorry I didn't ship the radio yet. So what does he do? He takes $15 off the price. This is the crap I go through. And it's not a great radio. It's a Navy radio. It has no advantage except it'll keep me busy. So I decide to build a power supply for that radio. That's still not here yet. And I start ordering the parts. And I'm going to show you guys how to make a universal type power supply to some degree. You're not going to make a small, simple, cheap power supply. And it'll do all radios. It'll do most of the commands and all that, just by modifying it a little bit. I've already showed you how to do the command radio, the one that takes, let's make sure I'm in the frame. This is the dynamotor. What I put on it, 60 milliamps. You need 60 milliamps at 125 volts to run the command radio. This one here, 220 volts at 70 milliamps. All right, so you have to replace these. Now you can drive the radio, you can drive these, but it's still another power supply, and it's an expensive transformer. When you're building radios and stuff, you're talking a $75 transformer. Am I in the frame? Look at that. Look at it. Oh, yeah. I need to put a long arrow on this camera so I can know what the hell it's even looking at. All right. So here's your option: a $75 transformer for every project you make. So I realized that I could use the Triad isolation transformer and two other things. I did that. I showed you that in the power supply for the BC348. In other words, and you got two transformers like this on a piece of metal. This is all you have, just like that. Instead of this, and this is $32, and this is like 20. So it's cheaper this way than this transformer, and it's also lower profile, and you can get more voltages using the isolation transformer by just changing the way it's wired. And that was the whole point of the video, you know. And I did an unboxing of this transformer. It's the wrong one. You want to hear me curse and swear? I was going to put the video up, and I'm like, nah. It got really. I did some religious swearing. That's what I'm saying. I'm just noticing that lately, I'm having really bad luck with everything. I mean everything, and my hand coordination is not that good, and it's just everything I'm touching is a nightmare. Now, what's in this box? All right, is it in focus? Don't want my address. I really don't care. You can find me very easily. But anyway, this has supposed to have two chassis like this in there. Now, this is a proto board, wireless proto board, and I built this. This is over 50 years old now. Right? I looked this up. This aluminum chassis was $3. Now, there's two of them in here, supposedly. I don't know what's in here. I haven't opened it yet. And they're $25 each. So things have changed. You know, I accept that. I know things get more expensive, but I'm now opening it up. I know some of you guys like to see boxes open and what comes out. You got to see the last one. I start swearing uncontrollably. I just emailed the guy telling me he sent me the wrong transformer. And you know what it kills me is when they send you back, oh, just mail it back. Yeah. My time, more money, and hopefully this is an aluminum box. Hopefully it's the right dimensions. All right. Bubble wrap like the last product was. Always a bad sign. All right, here we go. You see how. All right, these have bottom lids. All right. Now, this aluminum box for $25 is a little bit thinner. Right, here's one of them. Boy, that's rinky-dink and you, rinky-dink and me. Oh, these boxes come with a latex covering, so you can lay out your holes to cut for like power cord. I have this all nice and laid out. I was going to go all through the whole thing with you, and of course, now everything's in a pile. Everything's mixed up. That's how life goes, man. It's just unbelievable. All right, I'm going to put one of these connectors in the back. One of these in the back. This doesn't seem as wide as that, does it? Does it, huh? Brother. I should be able to fit on here. Well, anyway, you're going to have two transformers on top like this. Look at that, huh? And then in the back, I'm going to use one of these. And I have a nice on and off power supply switch. All the parts I have. That's not becoming the problem. It's the one part you don't have that you can't seem to get from everybody. These switches come off computers. They're enough current for both transformers. And here, nice little, this goes in the back on one side. And this is just going to make it. This box was supposed to be wider. Oh, man. Yeah, that's the other thing I'm noticing. Whatever I order, I don't seem to get. Let's see what this is supposed to be. Look at it. They don't even put on the label what the hell the size is. Oh, man. Is it 4 by 6? Yeah, I guess it is, right? Anyway, it'll fit. I'll make it work. But It's just amazing. Oh, I wanted to check the thickness of the old metal box for $3. Of course, there's inflation to make $25. Okay, let's measure it. Okay, now the new box might not be that bad. Of course, it's got this plastic crap on it. That's why I enjoy watching old Clive. He can really put power on stuff. Yeah, it's thinner by 10,000ths. Yeah, don't make them like they used to. But I just want to tell you, I started paying attention to weird stuff. Because when I was doing the disappearing objects phenomenon, there were people that actually thought there were spirits taking their stuff. And I noticed a lot of it is me. It's me. I have less patience. Uh, my timing for like getting stuff through the post office is messed up. There always seems to be a holiday, and I have to order something, and there's a holiday in there, and that messes the post office up here on this side, maybe somewhere else also. So I'm like, how come every time I order parts, there's a holiday involved? What are the odds? There's like 6 holidays for the post office, something like that. But I don't know. So anyway, I noticed that, and I'm like, am I ordering it knowing there's a holiday in there and it's psychological? No, it's just bad timing. This is why some people can be very successful. They're smart. They're very successful, and there's a lot of other people that are really smart, and they have nothing but bad luck all the time. And it's just a lot of it's just luck. And I had my accountant one time. He says a lot of things in life just come down to luck. And I said, the harder you try, the luckier you get. But I wasn't right. All right. There are people that just luck out, and the rules are different for them. And I don't want to get into politics, but wasn't I trained or taught that the government was checks and balances, but now it looks like you could just be a dictator. It's amazing to me. And I've been lied so many times that I'm getting an attitude. But what kills me is like that guy with the transformer. Now he'll probably just say, send it back, I'll give you your money back. I did that once. I sent the thing back. The guy never gave me the shipping. He messed up, but it cost me the shipping. What was that? Oh, the one radio too with the mouse nest in it. On there, he wrote on eBay. There might have been a mouse in it or whatever. Well, it was so urine soaked. It was a BC348. It was so urine soaked that all the wires, those asbestos wires that are cloth, were all swelled up. And what I had to do is I cut through the top of the radio, which is aluminum. I cut through the top with a pair of nibbling tool just to look into there. And there was a mouse nest in there. And the mouse had pissed everywhere in the radio. So I contact the guy, and the guy gives me my money back, but not the shipping. See, he made so much money on the shipping, and he knew the mouse was in there. See, and then he kind of said to me, well, I wasn't sure there was a mouse in there. Well, there's a mouse in there. Give me back my money. So he did. He gave me back my money, but he charged me $100 for shipping. And the shipping was at $38 or whatever on the radio. So he made money on me knowing that he was selling something that had a mouse nest in it. And this is what I'm putting up with. And like I said, I had to write the guy, you suck, to get him to ship my radio. And it was 2 weeks of fighting with him with the make an offer. Then he never got back to me. There was something wrong with him. Or he just didn't like my attitude. He put make an offer down there, and I made an offer. And I did one of the 3 choices. And his no returns on his product. It's still not here yet. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, man, am I taking a hosing? What a crappy hobby. That's what it's coming down to now. There's so few people in electronics hobby, or it's so vast that any area doesn't have a lot of people doing it. So these guys put the stuff on eBay, and especially in the new year, and they got one item that sells, and then they don't want to go to the post office and stand in line. They'll put it off to Saturday. So what happens is, you order it Sunday night, and it gets shipped the next Saturday, a week later, and then you wait 3 to 4 days for it to come across the country, depending on how it's shipped. Oh, and this last radio I bought, it's coming FedEx, my buddies, Crash X as I call them. They like to smash the stuff. And like I said, it hit me that the guy that's delivering the stuff to my house and smashing it, I actually know the guy. I won't say he's a friend, but he's a friend of my friend. And I looked out the window and I saw him. He put the radio up above his head and dropped it down on the ground. And when I went out there, someone had written real big letters, fragile. And that was that NC57. It mint condition paint job on the radio, but then he bent the whole case on it. And I told you that FedEx lost my radio, and I had the tracking. I said, it's in your warehouse somewhere. Well, we're not going to look for it unless you give us the serial number of the phone. And how do I know the serial number of the phone? Who the hell? Well, we can't help you. You know that phone went in your warehouse and never came out. Now, what you have to have it nowadays is probably a lawyer on the books all the time to put up with all this nonsense. And then when the person gets the letter from the lawyer and knows they have to appear in court, they change their tune. But I'm noticing all these things because I used to, you go for a walk, you don't look at anything. Don't look. And I told you, I can go for a walk and there'll be a guy changing the tire and he's got the jack upside down. He's got the big flat part that goes on the ground. He's got it under the chassis. So I'll say to him, well, if I don't do it this way, I'll put a mark in the car. So there's a little hook hole. And he starts shaking his head at me. And I told you, I don't like that. So now when I go down there walking, if I see someone changing a tire, I don't get involved. Now, yesterday was a guy had a trailer that you put a car on it that's broke down. And the trailer itself is sitting in the middle of the over by Dollar Store parking lot. It's not hooked to a car. And there's one guy driving the car up the ramp to go on the trailer. And as he gets to the top, the trailer starts sliding across the parking lot. And the pole that you crank down to level it out when you hook it up to the truck or to the car is sliding along the ground. And the guy is pushing on it, trying to slow it down. Normally, in my old days, I would run over there and help him push. But no, not anymore. I got 2 hernias because I've helped other people that were stupid. I have 2 hernias now, and at some point I'm going to have to go under the knife for that. There's so many things that I messed up, and I admit to it. And it's because you try to be a nice person in life, and you're not going to get ahead. It's over with for me. I am where I am now. Yeah. All I need is the idiot to cut my Social Security a little bit, and he'll put me into a spiral, But I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, you could just sit there in a chair, and you don't even realize someone's doing you in just as you're sitting there. You wait a full week to do a video on a transformer. It's the wrong one. Now I know the guy's. I'm not even going to argue with the guy. I just tell him, just go screw yourself. Ship it back to him. Yeah, ship it back to him. Pay the shipping on it, and it's a heavy transformer. And then will he send me the other one? Will he, this is. I'm tired of eBay, but it's the last place you can actually buy anything. And the other thing is everybody's on eBay. If you go, try to think of the name of the company. They sell parts, electronic parts, and is it Mount? That's not Mauser. It's the other one, Jameco. You're on Jameco and you're trying to order a power adapter. Here it is here. And this one's actually got wires in it. It's not a switching. And it wasn't cheap. And I was on Jameco, and then all of a sudden this thing popped up, and they wanted a some type of extra fee besides shipping, a parts pull fee. So I said, screw this. I'll go over on eBay. And I found the thing cheaper. And who did it come from? Jamco. And I sit there and I'm like, this is getting ridiculous. It has. We're on a downward spiral. No one gives a rat's ass anymore. I sort of care about other people still a little bit. But like I said, yesterday, I'm watching this guy put a car up on a cheap trailer. I won't say it. I won't say the name of the company made the trailer. But now as it's up the ramp and on the top, and he still has to go forward, and the guy's got a winch on it to help it. And the thing starts sliding forward. It's going across the parking lot, and that pole that's down on the ground to get the trailer even when the car's not hooked, that starts sliding along the parking lot. I'm thinking, all it has to do is hook and bend down, and then that piece will bend down. The car will come off the end of that trailer onto the guy that's pushing it, trying to slow it down from sliding across the parking lot. When I saw that, I'm like, this is going to be awful. But he got lucky. And that's those guys. There's a million of those people out there. And they're screw ups. And I was reading this one point. It says, the stupid people in the world do more damage than any wars they've ever done. And I'm watching that. And that's going through my head as I'm watching that thing slide across the parking lot. And that parking lot's got a lot of potholes. But for that day, that metal thing that was sliding did not hit a pothole. It would have bent, because it's not a good trailer. It would have bent, and that guy's right there in front of that car with his face. It's coming up on the ramp. He's working a winch that looked like half-assed too. And I'm like, holy crap. But there's people that, like, they don't have any, like, dynamics or mechanical abilities, knowing, when you drop something, it goes down. That one woman was on television saying the earth is flat. If it was round, how would the water stay down? And I'm realizing we got some wackadoodles that are running the government. I mean, they're totally crazy. And I'm sitting there going, this is my retirement. I shouldn't have to turn the TV on and see a bunch of bad ideas. And I worked for several bosses that were that bad, and they drove the company. The companies went out of business. You have a boss that he's not even in reality. And then the one day, they gave him 2 weeks notice to say goodbye to everybody. And someone says, go tell him what you really think of him. I said, no way. I said, that guy could end up at the next place I'm at, and he could be my boss again. Because that's how those people, they go through life, they get fired from one place, they go screw up another company. But I'm looking at this, and I know this transformer is bigger than what's going to go in here. So the two transformers are going to fit. And this goes in here, and then the on-off switch. I like these now. See, when I put this away, I don't have a cord. I have so many power supplies and little pieces of test equipment that have a line cord on them. Even like this. This is always a pain. You wrap this up and you put it away. It doesn't sit nice on the shelf. And then by using this, salvaging these off old power supplies, it makes a much neater thing. You can leave one of the power plugs down below the workbench, and then when you bring the item out, you got the power cord to it. I think that's it. I wanted to do a really cool video today, showing you, transformers that are, this thing's only like 60 milliamps at 220, and the whole idea of the explaining to why you want to build your own transformer is some of the bigger, like the BC348. What did it say? A BC348 needs 70 milliamps for the power supply at 220. So you're not going to be able to use one of these that the guys were pulling these off, rewiring the radios for the. Let's see if it's in the frame here. This is for the command radio. You can use almost anything to run a command radio, but when you go up to the BC348s, they're going to need more current for the high voltage or the B plus, whatever you want to call it. I think that's it. Man, it's getting weird. I think that's it.